Okay, so this is the Blackberry Keyone. When I needed a phone to switch to from my Blackberry Passport, this was my first choice. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all my thoughts about this device, the things that I find are absolutely fantastic, and some other things that maybe are not so great. But of course, I should let you know that I'm probably the biggest Blackberry fanboy on the planet, so I'm going to have to try to keep my personal biases for the physical keyboard aside and try to be as objective as possible for this review. And by the end of this video, I'm going to tell you if this is still worth buying in comparison to something like the Blackberry Key 2, for example. But before we get too deep into it, B-roll! Okay, so the Blackberry Keyone comes with a 1080p by 1620p display, Corning Gorilla Glass 4, and out of the box brand new, it came with Android 7.1 Nougat. But of course, I easily upgraded that to Android 8.0 Oreo with no problems. Now, Oreo may not be the latest software, but the greatest thing about the Blackberry software or the Blackberry skin on Android is that it's pretty much close to stock Android. Almost everything stays the same except for the added security features like the Blackberry Tech and the extra feature for the Blackberry Hub, which in my opinion is probably the greatest thing to happen to mobile technology, or maybe the entire human race at large. Okay, maybe that joke wasn't so funny, but I love the Blackberry Hub. I mean, it's probably one of the reasons why I can't stop using Blackberry phones. Being able to manage everything in one place is something I would have thought other mobile manufacturers would have thought of and added to their software somehow. Moving on, the camera on the back of the Blackberry Keyone is a 12 megapixel f2 shooter, which is the exact same sensor that's in the original Google Pixel. Now, of course, do not mistake that for meaning the camera in the Blackberry Keyone is anywhere as good as the camera in the original Google Pixel. I reviewed that camera is insane, so don't even compare them. But don't mistake that for meaning that the Blackberry Keyone is also a slacker. The camera is not terrible. In fact, it was actually a lot better than I expected it to be. Same thing goes for the 8 megapixel f2.2 shooter on the front. It takes great photos, and that's about all there is to say about this. I mean, we Blackberry users barely buy our phones for the cameras anyway, so I could care less. For video use, the camera on the back will shoot 2160 video at 30 frames per second, which I suppose is supposed to be impressive, but again, I don't care. What I do care about though is the physical keyboard on the front and the fact that it also doubles as a trackpad. Pretty impressive. And I also love the fact that they put the fingerprint sensor right in the spacebar, which is where your finger would naturally rest when you want to type. As far as I know, Blackberry is still the only company committed to producing phones with the physical keyboard, and personally, I cannot type on phones that are glass slabs. It drives me crazy. And before we move on, I feel like I need to say it. Any phone that has a physical keyboard, aka Blackberry phones, always look 1,000 times better than simple glass slabs that are basically dominated the market these days. With that said, I'm not gonna come here and just whine to you and tell you how much I love every single thing about this phone. There are certain things that drove me nuts while I was using this phone, so I'm gonna tell you some of those now. The first thing is the 3GB of RAM that came with this phone. Now, there's a 4GB version, of course, that's the black edition, but I don't want a black phone. I want my phone to be two-tone with the silver and look sexy. Anyways, it kind of is a letdown. A letdown because when I compare the performance of this phone to my Google Pixel, this phone does lag a little bit. And there are going to be times when you're going to get a memory warning where your phone is telling you you're running low on memory, which is ridiculous because I don't even play video games with my phone. I basically only have business applications and a few social media apps. And talking about social media apps, I think that's another thing that I absolutely did not enjoy with this phone. The premise for Blackberry leaving Blackberry OS 10 behind and moving over to Android was that, oh, this operating system has more applications, you can have your social media, yada yada yada. But the thing is, the aspect ratio of the screen is all wrong for social media use. Perfect for business, but terrible for social media use. If you use this on Instagram, your stories are going to be like a little too fat for other people's phones, and other people's stories are going to be a little too long for you to see everything. It's all just a giant mess. So naturally, of course, it's always going to be a lot better to have a separate phone for social media and just use your BlackBerry for what it's made for: business, emails, texting, things like that. Now, I should also point out the spacebar on my phone actually developed an issue after about a month where it only registered clicks only about 60% of the time, which confused me a little bit. I couldn't tell if that was a hardware or software issue because I'll type entire paragraphs and I'll read through them and I'll see a bunch of words that are jumbled together or married together because the spacebar did not register a click. But of course, that last issue was not too much of a problem. I think over time I just got used to it and I was a little more careful with my typing, which is actually not a bad thing. Now, I think save for the Blackberry Key 2, right now, this is still one of the better looking phones on the market. I mean, the two-tone, the faux leather on the back, the silver, everything, the polish, it just looks so perfect. It makes me so happy. But of course, the truth is, this phone is not going to be perfect for everyone. In fact, it may not be perfect for younger people, but I am a little stubborn and I love BlackBerry and I need my physical keyboard, so I have stuck with it this long. I am just waiting for the Blackberry Key 3 to be announced so that the Blackberry Key 2 price can drop and then I can buy that. And I think honestly, BlackBerry phones are always going to be a niche product for a specific set of people. If you've ever been a BlackBerry user, you understand what I mean. We have a special relationship with our phone and it makes us super productive, way more productive than any other phone is going to help you be. And I'm always going to say this, if this is the phone you want to get, don't let any of these new kids who buy their overpriced iPhones and the glass slabs that really don't do anything confuse you. But I'm going to be the first guy to be honest with you and tell you I still pretty much prefer the BlackBerry Passport with the BlackBerry OS 10. In fact, I still carry that around with me every single day. I love that phone. Something about that phone just, I don't know, it gets me off. But my honest verdict about this phone is it's an excellent device, and if you want it, definitely go for it. But go in with your eyes open and know exactly what you're paying for. A physical keyboard, the BlackBerry experience, the BlackBerry app, BlackBerry D-Tech, extreme security, which is something that I probably didn't speak about enough in this video. My phone is terribly secure. I had a hell of a time getting Facebook to verify my Instagram and connect my ads and all that. It was just a giant mess because Facebook was always trying to get information that they didn't have any business trying to get. But of course, Captain BlackBerry protected me with the D-Tech and that was pretty awesome. Anyways, a huge thanks to my friends Nelson and Diana for helping me out with this video. I had a hell of a time shooting this. And thank you so much for watching. If you're looking to pick up a Blackberry Keyone, please use the links in my description. It helps out the channel and doesn't cost you anything. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you on another video that was shot by Kagan. B-roll.